Responses? The member from Timiskaming-Cochrane.
Thank you, Speaker. It's always an honour to be able to stand in this House, especially an honour to be able to stand and talk about an agricultural issue on behalf of my colleagues, the NDP caucus, and my leader, Andrew Horvath. And this is the 4th annual Agricultural Literacy Week, Canadian Agricultural Literacy Week. And I think as more and more people move away from the country and move in to the city, this becomes more and more and more important. Because we all talk about the importance of agriculture. We all know about the importance of agriculture to this province. But quite frankly, the number of people involved in the various sectors in the agri-food industry aren't a big portion of the population. And sometimes decisions are made that impact them by people who, quite frankly, don't understand the issues. And that's why this is so important. As I was doing a research on my talk today, it came to my attention that the Farm Credit Corporation is sponsoring a lot of activities for this week in Ontario. And that's a plug for Farm Credit because they sponsored me through my agricultural career as well. And it ranges from, in primary classes, you can talk to a farmer. They'll bring a farmer to a class to talk to primary students. To in university level where you can listen to an online streaming debate about the value of GMO foods. And those are both incredibly important issues. And I've had talks here in committee level about the difference between organic milk and regular milk and whether the pros and cons, because people know I used to be a dairy farmer, and those are relevant discussions. And we have so many agricultural issues that are decided by the general population through their support or non-support, by governments through their decisions, and they are incredibly complex issues. The issues we face now with pollinators, with neonicotinoids, the issue with GMO foods. You know, the issue whether a 100-mile diet is a good idea. But is it the answer to all our agriculture problems? Not necessarily. But the only way we're going to make decisions that are beneficial to ourselves and to our children is to have full knowledge of the sector. And the sector is more than down home on the farm. It's more than at the processing sector. It's more than the farmer's market, and it's more than the supermarket. It's all those things together and so much more. It's easy for me to talk about things that happen on the farm. Spent most of my life there. But it was interesting yesterday when we were discussing with the Wine Council. And I used to be, I was on the board of a small cheese factory. And some of the issues that face small cheese factories regarding marketing are the same issues that face small VQA wineries. There's so many issues out there that unless you have a full understanding, and that understanding has to come from day one. Kids have to know where their food comes from. High school students have to know where the jobs come from. And we as legislators have to know what drives the agriculture sector, what drives Ontario, and what drives the world. We had an interesting discussion recently at the Agriculture Insurance Act is still on the table. And one of the issues is the impact of climate change. And we hear this government talk a lot about climate change. Climate change is going to impact agriculture. It's also going to impact how farmers insure themselves. And that's something we have to take into account. Because if you don't take those things into account, we're wasting our time and wasting opportunities. That's the most important thing. We don't want to waste opportunities. One of the things that I have found in the 3 years that I've been here is we don't take enough time to ensure that what we say here and the laws that are created here actually work on the ground in the country. And that's the most, especially when you're talking about Canadian Agricultural Literacy Week, we have to make sure that what we do in the legislatures of this country specifically in this legislature, that it actually makes sense, Speaker, for farmers, for farm communities on the ground. Thank you very much.
Thank you.